Well, we've been kind of been rambling here.
Yes,
Yes, we're almost to the rambling segment.
we're almost there. We gotta get through streaming first. All right, streaming. I'm on to season 3 of Deep Space Nine. Uh, I did finally come across the "Here's San Francisco in the year 2024" episode, and well, it's not far off, folks. That's all I can say. The nicer parts actually look nicer, and everyone was wearing like weird future Trek fashion for like the nice parts of town. But like the slum parts of town, I'm like, yeah, it's about right.
Yeah,
The only difference is it's like walled off with security guards.
Not enough fecal matter.
Yeah, well,
Or syringes.
yeah, it was a interesting episode. Now, I know we're critical of other things for being too on the nose, and this one actually wasn't, in my opinion, because it pointed out, yes, there are problems, but it never zeroed in on exactly what they were, or who caused them, or how they fixed them. Just a whole lot of, yeah, things kind of suck in the U.S. at this particular moment in time, without being like, oh, it's those damned Republicans, or oh, the Democrats did this, which was nice. No, like, oh, let's check the historical footage, even though the show came out in the 90s, so there'd be nothing historical in it, because it's set in 2024,
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like they're going to have anything from, like, oh, say the last 8 years or so. 20 if you want to be generous. But, yeah, it's a two-parter. I thought it was a decent episode. Then they've contacted the Dominion. I don't know if technically the Dominion War has begun, but it's clear the Dominion intends on going to war with them. So you got that going on. So Odo's found his people, so they know that the Changelings are the ones ruling the Dominion and that they're evil. And they found out that the Jem'Hadar are addicted to the Ketrasil White, and that's how they keep them under control. The first Vorta they meet had telekinetic powers. And I don't know if any of the others ever do. I know Wayun doesn't. So I don't know if that's just some weird one-off they just never ran with later on, or what the story there was.
Have you got into the multiple Wayuns?
No. We're way off on that. Season 2 is the first of the Mirrorverse episodes, though, where we see randomly Kira's in charge of a bunch of things, and evil, but not super evil. Like, she wants the other Kira to stay there and, like, be with her, I guess. Kira kind of implies romantically, maybe. I don't know.
Have you gotten to the one with Cisco's wife?
The one who died, like, in episode 1?
Well, she's in the mirror universe.
Oh, no. There's just the single Mirrorverse outing thus far. I know there's more of them.
Well, I wasn't sure where that was in the seasons.
Yeah, it's later. I didn't realize there were 7 seasons. For some reason, I thought there were only 5. But, yes, the Dominion War lasts a lot longer than I thought it did.
Mm-hmm. You'll also see, oddly enough, Starfleet people with green shirts.
Yeah. Well, I messaged you a couple weird things I've come across. Like, where it's the one Starfleet admiral, it's Nechayev, the blonde woman, who's also in the Next Generation episode where like, oh, we're giving this planet of Native Americans over to the Cardassians. Picard, tell them to move. And it's like, Picard's like, do you know the history of these people? Like, maybe we shouldn't do this to them. Yeah, it was her again, but it was all like a simulation that Dominion was running in their heads to see what they would do. So she wasn't just as stupid as I thought she was yet. Because she was like, oh, let's basically sign over everything to the Dominion. They can control the station. Sure, whatever. And Cisco's like, no, that's terrible. Then it ends up people being shot, but then it's all like in their heads. Also, they seem to have dropped the whole like, hey, we need a Romulan on board to operate the cloaking device after like the first 2 episodes that came up. Because I haven't seen her come back.
They just fused her into the...
Yeah, like Lando's droid into the Falcon.
Yeah. They just use the transporter and fuse her into the cloaking device.
Yeah. So, Bashir tried to help this guy that Hero's in love with, replaced half his brain with a positronic brain. And then she's like, we'll replace the other half so he can live. And Bashir's like, but he won't. Like, he'll just be a robot at that point. Like, there won't be any brain left. It's all robot. And it's just like, no, you should probably just let him die at this point. There's more honor in it. And just a few little things like that have been cropping up. I already had the episode where Quark had to go and petition to Gowron because he killed this one Klingon in his bar. And then the Klingon's wife shows up and is like, "Hey, you need to marry me so I can have a house again, so I can like get all the stuff." And they don't let you go on your merry way.
Oh yeah, he actually ends up helping that house a lot.
Yeah, which was temporarily known as the House of Quark.
Yeah.
So yeah, has to go there in front of the council, and basically he's gonna like fight the guy in hand-to-hand combat, and he just like throws down his bat'leth, and he's like, "I'm obviously gonna lose. Like this is there's no way I'm gonna win. This is just an execution. Like, so just make it quick." He's like, "Just remember, whenever you're explaining all this to your grandchildren, make sure you don't forget the part where you killed the completely defenseless Ferengi. All the great honor that'll bestow upon you." And he goes to do the death blow, and Gowron steps in. He's like, "No." He's like, "He's right. Like everything he's told me about you is right. You have no honor." Like, and so he strips him of his honor, then tells the other woman like, "You have special dispensation." He's like, "Unless," of course, like, "No, I'm good. I'm good." So, and apparently a Klingon divorce is the woman spitting in his face and slapping him, and then telling him he's good to go. So, yeah.
So not a knife fight to the death.
No. I think the property rights had already been decided. But the last episode I saw, I just want to mention this one last thing about it. Actually had a real emotional moment. It's where Nog tries. He wants to join Starfleet, and Sisko is initially going to tell him no. And I think it's all a test on Sisko's part to see why he wants to do it. And Nog gets really emotional. He's like, "Look, I'm stuck at being a Ferengi. Like, I just don't have what it takes as far as the profit. Neither does my dad." And he's like, "My dad's a mechanical genius, but is trying to do what my uncle's doing, and he's going to fail forever. His only hope is that maybe someday he'll get Quark's bar, and then he'll proceed to run it into the ground." And he's like, "I don't want to be like my dad. Like, I want to actually amount to something in life. And so I apparently have technical skills. Like, let me join Starfleet so I can do something." And he gets really impassioned about it. Sisko's like, "All right, I'll see what I can do." So we know from future episodes he does in fact join, but I just thought that was
and goes through a rather eventful career.
Yeah, I just thought that was a real emotional moment of you've got this race that's constantly defined by the one thing, and you've got one member of it's like, "I can't do that. I suck at it. Like, so my only choice is to do something else. Like, let me be something." I thought that was very 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 poignant, maybe touching.
I just like the fact that the Ferengi were originally going to be a intimidating race.
Yeah.
With their whips and their pretty much like primitive.
Yeah, but I think they were also supposed to be like the hyper capitalists right up front, weren't they? I think that was just supposed to be some weird one-off with them, right? And they're supposed to be more like the ones in Deep Space Nine. But they were like, "No, these guys don't work. Bring in the Borg." Yeah. And then we got Star Trek's best villains.
Well, I don't know. There was the one Ferengi that had wanted to kill Picard.
Damon Locke.
Yes. He had some character behind him.
Yeah.
Bring the Stargazer in for him to.
There you go. Yeah. Also had the episode already with Thomas Riker, where he joins the Maquis and they steal the Defiant. So that was interesting. Yeah, good show. Anyone out there hasn't seen it, you should definitely watch it. Way better than Discovery. Like, infinitely better.
Thank you for watching. This has been a Geek Cabal video, Echoes of a Whisper. This has been a clip from one of our podcasts. The link to the actual podcast this is from is in the description of the video if you want to see the entire thing, which we obviously encourage you to do. But otherwise, if you enjoyed what you saw, a thumbs up is always appreciated. Subscriptions and all the rest is definitely appreciated. Comments, as always. But just in general, thank you for watching. Hope you liked it. And check out the other videos we have here on the channel. See you later.